What is going on, YouTube people? Northeast Ohio Sports Cards here for a random live stream Q&A. Once again, for those watching later on the replay, there is no set topic. There is no set thing. Chat takes us where chat takes us. And we'll see where the questions lead. These are relatively unplanned. I usually just post them with a 5 or 10 minute warning, and we are off and running. So I will let chat build up a couple questions here for me. What is going on, everybody in chat? Oh, Justin's here. Global's here. Big Boy Cards is here. Winging it. Always just winging it. It should be in the description of this video. I have a new thing. I'll be mentioning it on the next two videos. I've already recorded Tuesday video and Wednesday video. I have an eBay affiliate link now. So there is an eBay link in the description of this video. I can throw it in chat for you guys. If you are going to buy something through eBay, sports card, non-sports card, comic book, or whatever, think of me and click the link. I get like 1% of whatever you spend or whatever. I don't even know how it works. I just signed up for it. I figured everybody buys, almost swore. Everybody buys stuff on eBay, especially this market. So just got done cutting grass, had a little ice cream cone as a treat. And let's see what chat is up to. Please comment on the popularity/scarcity of Sports Illustrated for kids cards, rarity for certain players, etc. I do not follow that market super well. I believe the thing that makes them so tricky is grading them and getting them in remotely high grade because they are cutouts. And I do not remember, but there is a certain way you need to cut them out or they will not grade them. I think you have to use scissors. If you try to use something, I don't remember. Please do not take this as knowledge because I do not know. But there's a very specific way you need to cut them out. Otherwise, PSA will not grade them. They will grade them as altered. So that's kind of what the big deal about those is. And just, it's just natural that those were not well taken care of. No one thought to save those. They were probably ripped out by hand and God knows what else. I don't know what you mean regarding the select XRC redemptions not being what they say they are. Everyone's saying hello. When will modern NBA bounce back? That is the $1 million question. I mean, the entire market's not going to bounce back all at once, but I expect players that play well in the playoffs to go up in price. It really comes down to as simple as that. We're at the 3/4 pull in the NBA season, and this NBA market is following the NFL market to a T. The NFL market did this exact same thing where everybody went down throughout the season, flattened out for like the non-playoff teams. And then the guys that made the playoffs, if they played well, spiked up. When they got bounced, usually pulled back slightly. It's as simple as that now. We are at the end of the NBA season. This is the lulls. This is the doldrums of the NBA season. Most people are not watching the NBA right now because most teams are either tanking. Not most teams, but there's a portion of the league that's tanking, and a lot of the league, the upper part of the league is on cruise control. The bottom part of the league is on cruise control. And then there's a few teams in the middle battling for the playing games and seeding and stuff like that. Most teams don't care where they end up as long as they're not in a playing game. So at this point in the season, it's just kind of like everyone just wants to get to the playoffs, both in the league and people watching the league. Like, we're ready for the playoffs. People are distracted by baseball, the NFL draft, and then the attention will turn back to the NBA is my thought. But now it comes down to who plays well and who moves on. Those are the card prices that are going to come back. Everybody else is probably in a plateau period until prices slowly start to tick up for next season. That's the assumption I'm running on because that's exactly what the NFL market did. And to this point, The NBA market has followed it to a T. Once the season started, all the prices went down, except for the guys that did not see big price increases in the preseason, like Embiid, Joker, Mitchell. They got their price spikes during the season. You know, Trae Young, Ja, Zion all had big price spikes before the season. Luka, they can't meet the hype, and then it pulls back and comes down and levels off. Now it's a gambling game. Who do you think plays well and moves on in the playoffs? That's the current state of the NBA market, in my opinion. Oop. And I quickly lost my spot in chat. Thank you, Global Sports Card Investor. What's happening to John Morant's prices? Basically what I just described above. Though Ja does seem extra cheap. I know me and Justin are big on the Ja bandwagon. Ja stuff seems ridiculously cheap right now. And he's playing out of his mind, by the way. If you want to go see some box scores, go look at Morant's box scores from the last 10 days. The problem is, as great as Ja is playing, they are either destined for the play-in game, which anything could happen, or the 6th seed. And, you know, if they make the 6th seed, then they get a really tough opponent in the first round, depending on how things shake out. You know, are they going to get Grizzlies Nuggets in the first round? That could happen. I don't like that for the Grizz. But I would love to see, I mean, if these guys start going off and playing games, smacking game winners, all sorts of shenanigans, I expect card prices to spike. But you're going to have narrow windows to sell. Keep that in mind. You know, the playoffs move fast and people are smart now. You know, they see the writing on the wall. Look at Luka last year. Luka was dropping 35 points a game against the Clippers, and his card prices started to plateau and trend down because everyone knew they were going to lose to the Clippers. Not everybody, but that's the way it was going. Even with him hitting the game winner, it was trending that he was about to get bounced from the playoffs. And that trend happened before they were even eliminated. So the market's the market gets smarter every single day, and you have to get smarter with it. What Luka am I buying? Justin asks. That's a secret until I buy it. You'll find out potentially later this week. Football guys to buy before the draft. I haven't spent a ton of time on that. No one jumps out at me. It's going to be one of those spur of the moment things. Like if a team with an established quarterback trades up and takes one of the top end wide receivers, then that quarterback will get a bump, you know, stuff like that. But most of the players that you would want to buy, the rookies, don't have cards yet. So it's more going to be if teams move up to specifically pick like a big time offensive player, in my opinion. That's what will move card prices. You are forced to make an NBA play, not Luka or Giannis. Who would it be? MPJ. Think NFTs like Top Shot and Tops are making the modern market drop. No, I really don't. I mean, it's probably pulling like a very small percentage of the money out of the market, but like people buying $20 of Tops NFT packs aren't, you know what I mean? That's not affecting the market that much. And I don't know what kind of market's there for the big time stuff. And I think it kind of crosses over the different markets to begin with. It's different people. It's not 100% all sports card people doing that. Are you buying singles Tops Series 1 NFTs? No, I have not even touched Top Series 1 NFTs. Is Optic worth 800? Which Optic, Justin? Oh, you have to tear. Can't use scissors. I knew it was something. I couldn't remember which one. That's the theory, Elliot. Elliot says, so NBA prices will start to rise in the early offseason, July/August. I think you'll begin to see spikes as offseason moves happen. So let's use the Mavs, for example. And this is all theory craft. You know, if this actually happens, who the hell knows? As I like to say, I'm just a guy talking into a microphone. We're just all guessing. I just have a microphone to guess into and people that want to listen to me. the thought process is, well, once again, we'll use the Mavs for an example. The Mavs have a bunch of cap space. They have Mark Cuban. They have Luka. They're not going to sit idly by. If the Mavs come out at the draft or at the beginning of free agency and start slinging moves left and right, kind of like the Hawks did last year, what happened? The Hawks won the offseason. They made a bunch of moves, bunch of acquisitions, and Trae Young's prices went crazy in the early preseason. Go look at the graphs. The theory is any team that makes a bunch of moves in the offseason, if they have an established star player, I'm guessing that player will see a bump at that time. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's the guess. I'm just basing that off of what the market did during the last NBA season. And then from there, you're going to see like what the NFL market is doing now, where it's a slow tick up with a slow ramp up to the start of the actual NBA season. When that starts, who knows? It's going to depend on when the player is eliminated from the playoffs. There is a decent chance that a lot of players are at their cheapest price right now, specifically non-playoff guys. I don't know for sure, but I just don't see a non-playoff player taking a massive dip after the season when there's not an event to kick them out other than like Colin Sexton, for example. Everyone knows he's not making the playoffs. It's baked into his price. I don't necessarily see him dropping way off like a Donovan Mitchell would if they lose in the Western Conference Finals. I have an XRC Mystery Auto Black 421. I redeemed it, and when I did, Panini said it was gold. I've never heard of that before, but I don't have a ton of experience with XRCs. Should basketball collectors wait till the season to end to buy? It depends on the player you are buying. Thoughts on 2012 to 2017 basketball sealed wax? I mean, it depends on the year. Like if you're getting Giannis's year, that's pretty freaking fire. 17 should be pretty good too because you got Mitchell and Tatum in there. Is T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd a sell now with the rumors the Bengals are picking Chase? I don't think so. Maybe Boyd. I don't know. If Burrow is what everyone thinks he's going to be, I think he could support multiple wide receivers. And rookie wide receivers don't always have a massive impact. Keep that in mind. I would be more inclined to buy like a T. Higgins dip than anything else. Elliot says it's a great buying opportunity. I've definitely been buying quite a bit, but it also makes me a tad bit nervous. My recommendation for that is I have a very specific video kind of touching on that tomorrow. Don't go out of your means. And if you're buying something, sell something. So then it's a net wash if it all blows up. RJ Barrett, a good bet now with the Knicks doing well. Everyone always wants to talk about RJ Barrett. Alex, I am not a big RJ Barrett believer, though his stuff is pretty cheap, to be fair, at the moment. I just am not in on him. In a world where there are a million things that I could buy, RJ Barrett's pretty far down on the list. I agree with Justin. I think you buy now for next year's potential free agents, etc. Though, I mean, you can make some plays. Like, I did the video I think that was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago now, where I bought Donovan Mitchell because I feel like at his current prices, he is pretty safe for a potential playoff flip. If they go far and his prices skyrocket, I can get out of them. And if they don't, where I got into him at, I feel pretty okay holding that into the beginning of next season or for the start of next season. So I think there's some guys you can kind of hedge your bets on. Same with Michael Porter Jr., though that one's a little trickier now. That was pre-Jamal Murray injury. Do you see Rack's prices dropping at all following the drop in the market? Maybe Global Sports Card Investor. The thing about wax is it's always getting less. There's always less wax. Every time someone rips a box, there's less. So even if the market dips down a little bit, supply is always going down with wax. So it may dip down some, but it usually dips down way slower. What does Barrett have to do for you to say he is good? Actually be good. Here, I've said this before with Barrett. He's Chris Middleton playing in the New York City market. I just think he's a perfectly fine NBA player. He may even make an all-star team, but he is not an NBA superstar, in my opinion. He is legit Chris Middleton, but he happens to play in New York, so he gets an extra level of hype on him. That's my opinion on RJ Barrett. I will die on that hill. Why has Steph's numbers gone down so much, even though his numbers are insane? They are now around 10K. Probably because the market's softening a little bit in general, and also Steph's not winning a championship this year. Like, cool, he had a bunch of games where he dropped 50 in a row. Great. You're a 10 seed. Sweet. You know, maybe if they make some noise and they go on a crazy playoff run, they would go back up. But people are smart. They're starting to price in what these guys are or aren't going to do in the playoffs. And, you know, the Warriors would need a lot of things to go right for them to make a playoff run. Are the only people watching the NBA card collectors? I don't know what you mean, Scott. Bull. Oh, God, bull. Get out of here with that nonsense. I would not be buying Panini baseball product, period, full stop. No one wants cards of guys in pajamas. Oh, Tatis Jr. Oh, big boy. How about Tatis Jr. with 5 home runs in 3 games? Yeah, I missed the buy low window on that one. The injury just scared me off. I was just too worried about the injury. Played it too cautious with that one. But win some, you lose some. I do not follow UFC at all, Charles. Buy Jimmy G before the draft, maybe. He'll get a rush of people buying his stuff before he's traded. Maybe. If you can get his stuff cheap enough and it's a low-risk play, but just know that there's a good chance you could just get stuck with him. Elliot, I don't know what's up with dibs either. I put $25 in there. I lost my ass on the dibs too. Rather hold Spider or Booker going into the playoffs. That's an either or. I think both those teams are really good. Both those teams are NBA Finals contenders. I guess I would say Mitchell just because he's cheaper. It just depends. Like, are you already have him? Or are you going and buying? Because I could buy multiple Mitchells for the price of one Booker. Like, I bought a PSA 10 Prism and 2 Optic PSA 10s of Mitchell for the same, actually less than probably the price of one Booker PSA 10. That just gives me more options. It depends, Justin. I think a lot of people have basketball fatigue right now. Remember, the NBA season really didn't have an off season last year. Like, the NBA finals ended and like 2 weeks later was like free agency. And then we were right back into the season again. X-Men 266 or annual 14. I'm a 266 guy in that argument. Thanks, Global. Does the recent huge LeBron rookie card sale give most of his other cards a bump in price? I think that's a slippery slope. I think it gives us. I think the next thing to spike with LeBron will probably be autos. I know Sasha T's been saying that a lot, but I do think LeBron's autos are generally undervalued. All things considered, that one of his autos just sold for $5.2 million. How do I feel about the black PSA 10 Durant card? If I was going to buy a non-Topps Chrome Durant rookie in a PSA 10, I would probably shoot for that one. That card is just a ridiculously tough grade. I really like the Jared Allen pickup by the Cavs. You're not going to want to buy any of his cards, but I do enjoy watching Jared Allen play with Sexland. What do you think of the 2020 National Treasures product? Do you think buy and not rip, just hold as a worthwhile investment? Ripping wax is never a good investment. I'd be skeptical on 2020 Are you talking football or basketball? I guess I should rephrase, because I immediately went to basketball. Is D Wade a good investment? Sure, he's fine. I mean, like, he's one of the all-time great players. It's just going to be like weird. The older retired players, it's just a weird market because you kind of have to wait for something to spike them up. Do you feel like Joe Burrow is a risk with no offensive line, risk of another injury? It just depends on what they do in the draft. You know, if they draft a bunch of offensive linemen, I mean, I don't feel great about Burrow just shredding his knee in his rookie year. He looked pretty good. That being said, like, I mean, here's the thing. There are a million different things you could buy. I am just going to go with something else. Someone that doesn't have coming off a nasty knee injury. But I like what I saw out of Burrow prior to the injury. Julius Randle has played pretty well, but I don't know. Julius Randle again comes down to there's just better places I would probably rather put my money. He has been playing out of his mind. There is no doubt. People still playing way too much for Mosaic sealed product, for example. Meanwhile, the prices being graded 10s just don't justify buying the price. Because sealed wax is always, is a dwindling supply. Sealed wax is always a dwindling supply. Donruss paper seems to be sneaky for big names. Thoughts on paper? You could definitely make a profit playing around with Donruss paper. I would rather go with Donruss paper than hoops, personally. You have a low ceiling. Like, you're not going to spike up, but if you're just entering the game, it's definitely a thing you can do. The problem is, like, if you're ripping or if you're buying singles, one of the first things I did when I first got started in the market, like really taking it like next level, I was buying singles and stuff before and dabbling around or whatever. But early last year when I was like, okay, let me like really give this buy raw and grade thing a shot. And this was back when you could grade a card with PSA for $20 at economy level. I would buy Donruss paper Zions for like $18 a pop. Anything that looked well centered. And I would send them off to get graded for $20. So I would be $20 for the card, $20 to grade it. Say $50 total into the card. PSA 10s would do anywhere from $150 to $200. PSA 9s you'd make a little bit on. So every 9 that you hit, you basically break even. 10s, you would make a massive profit. The problem is grading's a nightmare right now, and that outlet's not there. So that's what makes it tricky, in my opinion. Now, can you buy like PSA 10s and hold them and sell them for small profits? Yes, I just did it with paper Donruss Lamar Jacksons on Star Stock. I bought 5 of them for $150 a piece. I've been selling them from anywhere between $175 and $190 a piece on Star Stock. I will post one around $190. If I get an offer around anything $175 or higher, I usually take it. And then I post the next one. And I've just been slowly selling them off as prices have slowly crept up. So you can absolutely make money doing that. But I used to like the angle of Donruss paper of buying raw and grading, but that's just not a thing right now. I pulled a Cole Anthony silver. Is that worth grading? Do you think he's any good? Thanks. He seems fine. I don't know that Cole Anthony. Put it this way. This goes back to what I just said. In the old PSA land, Cole Anthony was worth grading. In the new grading landscape, probably not. Do you think NBA 21 optic sealed wax is a fair price at $800? That is pre-order cost on blowout. That's 21 basketball. I'm just not big on the 21 class. That's the problem. It seems fine. That's funny, J-My. What's up, Bushliger? Oh, I did not see more stimulus money coming. Okay. Okay. How do I feel about Eric Paschal? There's no, just no. Pass. Hard pass. Once again, I mean, if you're just entering the market and you're looking to play with low end, low risk stuff, sure, take a flyer on it. I'm just not at that point. So if you're asking me if I would go buy Eric Paschal, no. But that's just not the market that I'm playing in right now. Personally, no. Like if I saw Eric Paschal super cheap on Star Stock, would I go buy a bunch? Nah. I don't know that he's actually that good. I'm going to go heavy in the Taco Fall, Bull. What are you buying right now? I'm buying Morant Select, Bam Prism, along with Star Stock A's of Keldon, Baisley, Rui, Garland, McHale, Kobe White, and KPJ. I just bought a bunch of Donovan Mitchell. I would like to buy more MPJ. I just bought a really big Luka, the Select Premier. This guy right here. And I have my eyes on a large Luka. I don't know that I'm going to be able to get it, but we'll see. Do you think sports like Formula One and other global sports could be long-term investments? Maybe. I feel like they're weird little niche markets that are going to get some buzz and pop up, and then people are going to forget about them for a while. And then maybe something else happens down the line that causes prices to spike back up on them. When are already slab cards going to shoot up in value due to the grading fiasco that's going on? I don't really think that's a thing. Just because what does PSA shut down right now have to do with the current supply on the market for older stuff? Absolutely nothing, in my opinion. If anything, it will affect the prices of new product going forward. It's not like we're all hurting for a bunch of Luka, Zions, and Jaws. I never thought the PSA shutdown would have a massive price increase on existing slabs. I see how that throw around Facebook and comments a lot. It never made sense to me. There's 17,000 Zions and Lukas out there. Like, just because PSA shutdown isn't going to stop that. Plus, you're also going against, a general market that's soft right now. Ziggy No in the house. I don't know who bought the LeBron 5 million. I mean, I saw that it sold, but I haven't done a deep dive. I don't know that it was disclosed. Dibs needs more users. That's the biggest problem with Dibs right now. Dibs is also limited that it's only an iOS product, which I'm a big Apple guy. Don't get me wrong. I literally have an iPad sitting on the desk right here. But that's really limits their user base. I partially agree with what Big Boy said. The LaMelo getting hurt and PSA shutting down kind of did pump the brake. I don't know that pump the brakes, but it's like no one knows what to do now. Everyone's norms the snow globe got shaken with the PSA shutdown, and LaMelo's back now, basically. Is the 03 James Fleer PSA 9 worth 5? I don't know. I have to look at comps. I haven't dug into non-Bowman, non-Tops LeBron stuff. Yeah, Ziggy's big on NFTs. I am not big on NFTs. Is Tim Lincecum a Hall of Famer? I don't think so. Not the Baseball Hall of Fame. They're pretty strict. Is there any running backs you think would be good preseason flips? Anyone that's cheap and that's going to get a bunch of fantasy hype, to be honest. A lot of them have seen price increases already. I am not familiar with the Fanimation Jordan card. With Prism and Select Football being crazy high, I picked up Mahomes, Tools of the Trade, PSA 8s. What do you think about lesser out of 25 rookie cards? I mean, they're fine. PSA 8's an awful low grade. That's basically raw, but I understand it's a numbered card. Tools of the Trade's a weird one because it's not like it's a rookie card, but it's more like a mem card. I don't know. I think I would rather have like a Don Russ paper. I don't know what the price differences are between the two. Spoken like a fellow YouTuber, Ziggy. New to the hobby, pulled an NFL Select Jalen Hurts Gold Premier level numbered to 10 card. Woof. If you think it can 10 and you're new to the hobby, maybe have someone that knows what they're doing take a look at it in person. If you think it could 10, that's Super Express worthy because that's a monster. Even in a 9, you know, I don't think you'll lose a ton of money on it because you're going to sell it for an astronomical sum of money anyway. So if it's borderline, I would probably ship it to PSA at Super Express. Thoughts on Ohtani? I think he's one of the most talented players in baseball. The injuries scare the living hell out of me. You know, I bought the Ohtani pink refractor on Star Stock and had it shipped home with the intentions of trading or selling it at a show. And then I got it home and I made the mistake of I should have never sent the card home. I should have never sent the card home because I'm making the cardinal mistake of becoming attached to it because the card looks gorgeous. It's sitting right here, actually. I put it front and center. Just an absolutely gorgeous looking refractor. And now I don't want to part with it. So I know it's going to happen. Something's going to happen. He's going to get hurt, a blister, or whatever. And it's going to go down and I'm going to lose money on it. But he's an insanely talented player. Biggest mistake I made was shipping that card home and seeing it in person. Because now I am attached. Think Star Stock is a quandary. You could buy cheap, but it's not like you could quickly or cost effectively pull cards out of there except graded. And then they have many penny stocks, cards and stuff. I like Star Stock a lot. I'm a big fan of Star Stock. I'm not familiar with who's in 91 hoops off the top of my head, so I'm not sure if it's a good buy at $75. Just check comps on sold cards. If you had to pick Iverson or Steve Nash, I was always an AI guy. Thoughts on RJ Hampton? I'm semi-intrigued. Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, what are their best base rookies to buy raw? Select, probably. I am not a Pokemon guy, Jason. I couldn't tell you a thing about Pokemon. 21-22 class, one of the best classes in recent years. Are we talking football? Got to specify the sport. Predictions on the Browns record for the upcoming season and which team wins the AFC North. Record, I don't know. That gets finicky, but I do think the Browns will probably win the AFC North. What are your thoughts on 2021 Prism Cellos hitting $50 per? I just haven't tracked that market very close. I have no interest in buying sealed wax. So I have not. I don't know. $50. I don't know if that's up or down, to be honest. Is Draymond Green a Hall of Famer? Yes, because the Basketball Hall of Fame is extremely easy to get into. I have some Yordan Alvarez Topps Chrome rookies at PSA through Card Collector 2 at the moment. Boy, I would love Ben Simmons prices to go up. I have a Ben Simmons Optic PSA 10 that I am super upside down on. I bought it for $250 like the day before he hurt his knee last year, and it's like a $100 card now. That card seems way too cheap. I mean, AD is going to be an all-time great player, I think, so I'm not going to fault you for buying a dip on AD or Leonard. How many LaMelos do I have? 0. I own 0 cards from 21 product. There won't be one less card coming onto the market. Shutdown except 21 cards. Still grading everything. Already sent it. Yeah, I agree with what Big Boy said. That eTopps card does look pretty nice. I've never seen one in person, but pictures of it look pretty good. I haven't followed the pricing on it super well, so I don't know if it's dipped with the rest of LeBron. Answered that question already. High-end slabs of new basketball are being manipulated. I think market manipulation stuff in general is overrated. Best NFL past wide receiver rookie to invest in from Jefferson, Ruggs, Judy, Laviska. Laviska is getting a ton of hype. Justin Jefferson was freaking amazing last year. I am never going to say no to court sides. If the price is right and it's the right player, I freaking love court sides. What is going on, Idaho? I'm hoping to go to the National as well. I would love to give you info on the trade night, but this is my first time going, so I don't have any info on the trade night. Maybe someone in chat can help you out. Is it too late to buy more raw LaMelos? I haven't bought any raw LaMelos, so. Are you buying Miles Bridges? I like Miles Bridges. I have not bought any Miles Bridges. I like both Bridges, actually. All the Bridges. I do not agree with any of those, Theodore. Joel Embiid Select was undervalued. I have not checked comps on it recently. Any advice for finding good values on PSA 9s? It's not about the pop report. It's about finding PSA 10s that shot up and finding 9s that have not followed yet, in my opinion. I don't work the pop report too much on PSA 9s. It's more about finding ones that are out of whack with the value of what the PSA 10 is selling for. Market Movers has a lot of good tools for that. Shameless plug. I try not to get attached to cards too often, but that pink refractor is just freaking gorgeous in person. Is Kobe going to spike before or after the Hall of Fame induction? I don't think either. Do you use a magnifying tool to check cards before grading? No, I don't. I just use the eye test with some glare, a flashlight, and a microfiber. Would you load up on Wentz on Star Stock? I feel like Wentz already got a pretty big price spike on Star Stock when the initial news happened. I mean, Nash was the better pure basketball player, probably. I mean, he won more. Iverson was more fun to watch. I will be curious to see what the shimmer sells for, Jacob. Yeah, Justin, I would love to sell more slabs on there. It's just not as fast as the marketplace as eBay if you really want to move something. But there's some nice appeal to not having to worry about returns and all the other nonsense. I don't. Any specific graders to send perforated cards to Football Optic? No, I don't think so. Think Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen has a better upcoming season / better play. I'm going to go option C, Baker Mayfield. Between those two, though, Josh Allen. Well, here's the thing. If you're willing to risk it, Lamar's probably too cheap. And if he comes out gangbusters, his stuff will go nuts. Whereas Josh Allen already has a lot of hype priced built into him from coming off of last year. I don't usually invest in position football players. I would probably hold any and all football until at least 4th of July, in my opinion. Boy, Alex, I was never big on Tyler Hero either, and I caught a lot of flack in the comments and earlier videos that I made early in the season, like not to carry him in the season and this, that, and the other thing. Tyler Hero is a perfectly fine NBA player, but man, oh man, he is not what people think he is. Do you have a standard formula for how long to hold before selling? Absolutely not. This market changes by the minute, and you need to be willing to adapt. Do you have any set financial goals with respect to cards each year? My only goal is to stay in the black. I am at so slight spoilers for video dropping tomorrow. My video tomorrow morning is about, well, try not to give too much away. Essentially, I'm at the point now where I only buy something with card money. So that's like my financial goal, is to get to the point that I am only spending card money on more cards or comics. I am not dipping into real money. I like to use the real money, fake money comparison on the channel a lot. And I am not spending any real money on cards anymore. I am only spending fake money on cards. If that makes sense. I'm a lighthouse snob. That's funny. Thoughts on Jordan Poole? He seems fine, flash in the pan. I don't know that he's like the next great thing. What multiplier do I usually use for 10s versus 9s? It depends. The general rule is around 3 to 3.5. But that is not like a set thing. It depends on the year. It depends on the set, and it'll vary by year to year. So there's not like a hard and fast, but in general, around 3 to 3.5. But it can vary. Took your advice on Luka Prism PSA 10 weeks ago. Got it at $12.90. Heard your opinion on select rookies, lower pops. What should I do with Luka Prism? Sell it before next season. I mean, I don't think that's a terrible price to get into it for. If it spikes up, move it, get into something else. It's not the end of the world. I would prefer if I was going to spend $1,200 or $1,300 and buy a select. But I still think you're buying Luka on a dip. Could it go up? Yeah, it probably could if he has a good playoffs. Could it go down? Yeah, if he gets bounced early, it's probably going to go below the $1,300 price point that you paid. If that's the case, I would just hold it in next season and see what happens, unless you want to take a slight loss on it. I don't know that I would look to take an immediate loss on a Luka Prism. Thank you, Bob. I just had grades pop on a Marvel order right before I started this stream. Well, not before I started this stream. I'm sorry. They got Marvel grades pop yesterday. I got shipping notification right before I started the stream. Well, I'm surprised you let that go, Justin. Club levels are too cheap. I just don't know if I would go on a buying spree yet because I don't know that Select's hit its floor. There's still a lot of it being open. Holy shit, did I... Oops, sorry. Holy shoot, did I catch up with chat? I almost did. I'm not super huge on the Kobe and background of cards unless it's like, you know, like the LeBron Kobe Topps Chrome 08 where they're guarding each other. I wish any of the comics I had that I collected as a kid, I still have them all, but I did not take care of them. None of them are gradable. I don't think, anyway. It just depends on what you're into them for, Merrick. I don't usually do this, but you guys are slacking on the likes, man. 23 likes, 145 viewers. Shame. Thoughts on Nah for an off-season pickup? I do love myself some Nah. I do love myself some Nah. Do you use My Slabs? Yes. I buy on My Slabs. I have not sold anything on My Slabs yet. Boy, calling Tyler Hero a young Devin Booker feels like a stretch. GMA to the moon. Get out of here, Elliot. Making it rain with PSA 10s. Thoughts on Spectra? Meh. Most people don't like tripped over my tongue. Most people don't like the design of Spectra. It's a hobby niche product. Very few people know it exists. Some of the cards look really cool, but just most people don't realize it exists. I love Revolution as a lower pop / cheaper way to get into players that you may be priced out of. I have where's it at? I just moved it off of the display rack. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Right here. Got a nice jaw Revolution. Shiny. Pretty. Where that one set now? Always go for PSA 10s if you can afford it, but if you can't, 9s are fine. I have not seen the YouTube channel Baseball Card Curator. I'm slightly concerned, Ian. Once again, the market is getting smarter and everyone's getting smarter to sell sooner and sooner. That's why I am specifically targeting players that if I don't get an opportunity to sell them in the playoffs, I am fine holding them into next season. Does this year's public select release ruin the viewer thoughts people had of select in the past? No, because this year's select isn't adding to the pop counts of older select. If anything, it would boost it, I think. I mean, a lot of vintage stuff is cheap because the guys just aren't in the news. Big Boy Card says Revolution is better than Spectra. I agree. It just depends, Mark. On your buying and selling decisions, you got to make up your mind on what you want to do on your own, man. I don't know what you have into the card. I don't know what you want to do with the money if you sell it. There's so many variables. Does PSA's new AI stuff set back other grading companies once they reopen? I think PSA basically just teabagged everyone, was like, you guys don't matter anymore once they reopen. BGS 10s will always probably outsell PSA 10s, though the gap has narrowed. BGS in general is just an absolute joke. I watched 502 Frank the other day. He did a BGS reveal. I always joke no one does BGS reveals. And he said on his video that he is never using BGS again. The submission, which was like a 20-day or 30-day submission, took over a year or almost a year to get back to him. Like you looked at the cards, it was like all mosaic. Half the players didn't even matter anymore. And BGS 9.5s just keep getting cheaper and cheaper. If you're looking to buy into players, I would look at BGS 9.5s. They're not going to have the same ceiling as a PSA 10, but man, you can get into some BGS 9.5 super cheap right now. Once LeBron's out of the league, do you think Luka is the next face of the league? I do think Luka could be, but Luka needs better team. Him and Zinger just aren't cutting it. They need a third piece, or Porzingis needs traded for something else. Luka is on the short list for face of the league. Him, Giannis, Zion, Ja. Is Triple J and Ja a deadly combo in the West and a great investment? I just think they have too steep of a climb given their current position, but man, is Ja playing out of his mind right now. Ja's probably the most undervalued player on the market at the moment, and I say that having a ton of Ja Morant. Who are content creators that really know the fundamentals of flipping for profits that you think has good takes? Thanks. Me. Duh. Jeez. I don't know. There's a ton of them out there. Anyone that doesn't charge you a subscription service for picks. Jose, it depends on the players. Galactics are super nice. Best place to sell $5 cards, probably Starstock. Ooh, how much money can you make from YouTube? I'm thinking of starting my own sports card channel. So Sports Card Investor just did a video on this on Sunday. It's really good. I highly recommend watching it. It is on my list to do some behind the scenes YouTube stuff. Here's what I'll say about sports card YouTube isms. It's an extremely crowded space. You need to have something that sets you apart from everybody else. And you need to decide, in the past, like when I started the channel a year ago, there was not, most of the sports card YouTubers were still breakers. When I first started the channel, I started ripping wax because that's what I had and that's what everyone else was doing. So I thought that's what I needed to do. The sports card niche on YouTube now is not a niche. I mean, it's a niche, but it's not like it used to be. So you need to find a niche inside the niche. And you need to do something that sets yourself apart. I think a reason that my channel appeals to a lot of people, just judging by the comments that I get and stuff, is my videos aren't like a lot of the other people's videos. A lot of the sports card YouTubers that are out there are more hype based, doing like the YouTube algorithm 10-minute thing. They throw 5 players at you, tell you to go buy them, and then that's the end of the video. My approach was that there's a million people already doing that. And I like the sound of my own voice and I like to talk a lot. So I said, let me make longer form videos. I also have my day job a small portion of it is doing education for companies that we work with. So I'm used to presenting things, data, and information to people. So the niche that I chose, once I've got my sea legs, I decided to go against the grain and do longer form stuff and essentially show the work, where a lot of channels give you just the straight answer with nothing actually backing up what they're saying. So I kind of let the data speak. Now, at the time, I was one of the few people doing that. Now, there's a ton of people that do that. So that's not an easy thing to break into. I mean, how many YouTubers do you watch now have some sort of chart and graph up on the screen? It's just I don't want to discourage you to get into it. I would recommend 100% doing it, but just know what you're in for. It sounds like it's really easy. It's the bigger you get, the more like a job it becomes every single day. Not going to lie. You know, I work a regular day job. I do this basically on the side, if you will. And more, this feels, I don't want to say it feels like the job. It's not a hard job, but it is. There's some days where I'm like, whew, I really don't feel like recording a video tomorrow. Or you just, you know, you struggle for a topic to talk about, or you just don't, you have a topic, but you don't have the energy. So you got to kind of like flip a switch. But you're not retiring off sports card YouTube. I know Jeff Wilson said on that video on Sunday, they post 3 videos a week. He has 70,000 subscribers. He makes like $3,000 a month off of 70K subs and, you know, 3 videos a month. Now, it depends on how many views you get. Views are more important than subs, to be quite honest with you. But I could talk for days and hours about just YouTube shenanigans. I've learned so much in the last 11 months. Sorry for the very long-winded answer on that. Yeah, with the select adding the field, the club level in there now, I feel like it makes Premier not matter. Do you own any soccer? I own no soccer. How much do you think PSA will raise or lowest prices? I don't think you're ever grading a card with PSA again for under $30. Charles. I think the Pelicans say no, but I would take that deal in a second if I was the Mavericks. What do you think the percentage is for a BGS 9.5 to cross to a PSA 10? About 0.1. BGS sucks at the moment. The only reason they have the highest selling cards as history is because people like to grade autos with them. And that was in the past. I believe that same statement, Bradley. If you're going to cross a BGS 9.5 to PSA, you have to crack it. If you send it in the case, it's never going to cross. Do you think Colin Sexton is, oh boy, Sexton question. Do I think he is legit or just great due to his team? I think Sexton is a perfectly fine NBA player. I think Darius Garland is better. Bill with the real intelligent takes there. SCI does charge for picks, but that's not why you're subscribing to SCI. You're subscribing to SCI for the data tool, not for the picks. Thoughts on players like DiVincenzo, DeAndre Ayton, and Matisse Thybulle? I would probably put money in the Ayton before any of those 3, and I wouldn't put a lot. Thybulle intrigues me at the very low price point you can get into him for. I have a really nice, I have no idea where it is. I just thought of something. I wonder if I sent that in the Star Stock on accident. I have a really nice Thibault T-Mall Select Courtside raw. It won't grade well. Probably a PSA 9. I'm slightly intrigued by Thibault for the low price you can get into them for. I think it's too soon, Chris, to get a feel for select football. I disagree, Gimli. I think that people are becoming cool on Prism base, not all base. The Select Premier only has a population of 550. That matters. I am indifferent on Carson Wentz. I think he's a little too injury prone. High risk, high reward. I'll say that about Wentz. Do like Taylor as a fantasy player. I don't like investing in any position players. Is $6K for an orange refractor, LeBron covering Kobe to BGS 9 a good buy-in? I'm not up on the pricing on the LeBron Kobe Chrome refractors. Is there any information on what the rate of No, they haven't gotten a sub back yet. Star Stock's only gotten one sub back yet. I am in their second sub. I have 4 cards in their second sub. I have three Keldon Johnson silvers, select and prisms, and 1 DeAndre Hunter silver prism at PSA through Star Stock right now. Just answered that question. How did your Marvel cards grade? You will find out probably in a video at the end of this week or early next week. Never see you on other YouTube channels. Oh, shit. I lost the question. Never see you on other YouTube channels. Is there a reason for this? Is this a choice? No. I mean, I was literally on Reggie Collects Comics last week. I linked to that video. Talked about that a bunch. And I've been on Jeff Wilson's show, SCI. You can't go on a YouTube channel unless someone asks. So, I mean, I'm not going to go on anyone. I would only appear on a channel that I know, watch, or have respect for the content creator. I'm not just going to go out there and hop on every channel under the sun just to get on. But if a channel that I like, I would happily go on. I know I want nothing to do with base cards right now. There's over 5 million cards at PSA. Sure, there's a lot of base cards at PSA. You just need to get into the right base cards, which Select Premier and Select Courtside are the correct base cards to get into if you're going to get into base cards. How many times are you going to ask the same question, Idian? I already answered it. I am not big in the NFTs, Greg. And they briefly mention sports cards every once in a while. Oh my gosh. One second. I talked about the black KD Tops earlier. That's a really nice looking card. Lately, I've been hearing some content creators saying goats are already at too high of a price to invest in. Your thoughts? I don't follow the goat market super close. I mean, I follow it because, anytime one sells, you hear about it. But I mean, I think you could have said that 3 months ago when Jordans were $750,000 and LeBrons were 50Ks or 50K. I just don't have the money to throw around in those fields. So I hate to just randomly say like, yeah, sure, go buy LeBrons. Cause like I have 30K to go spend on a LeBron. If I was in the financial position and had the ability to, I would be looking to buy. I would like to obtain a LeBron Topps Chrome at some point in time. Thoughts on BGS 9.5 Durant Black rookie card, 3,000 card, PSA 10, 12. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad buy. You can get some really nice discounts on BGS 9.5s. I won't grade with them, but I'll buy their cards. Just make sure it's not a fake. Well, I was caught up on chat, and I fell drastically behind because they give long-winded answers. I semi-agree, Kellen. No one's perfect. We're all going to make mistakes. Land over sex. I agree, Dave. Vladdy Jr. thoughts. Boy, I love watching his dad play. I hope he does good. I don't have many of his cards. I have one Topps Heritage PSA 10 laying around here somewhere. But more talented, Burrow or Baker? Which will have a better career? Burrow might have slightly more talent, but I don't like that he had a devastating knee injury already. And I don't like that he's on the Bengals. Do you think the team name being Washington Football Team will carry any type of value in the future? No. It's called what's going on with DeAndre Hunter? Knee injury, and they're babying him. How did your Marvel cards grade from PSA? Find out in a video soon to be. I don't have them back in hand yet. I'm still bullish on LeBron Topps Chrome. Lou Dort is really freaking good. The Thunder, man. That Thunder team. I was completely wrong on DeAndre Hunter in the preseason. He's the one player I've come around the most on this season. Sorry, I'm just reading through questions. Not all of them are questions. Some of them are just random comments. So, in general, print lines and roller markers on the backs of cards are usually ignored unless they're severe. I saw that, big boy. That was Sports Card Anonymous. We talked about that card offline. Yeah, it is Panda King, but it's a risky thing. You get a PSA 9, you're toast. I don't necessarily disagree with that, Lucky. Are you going to the Strongsville card show on May 16th? I am planning on it. I went to the show there last month, a couple weeks ago. I recorded video, but I didn't end up posting it. A lot of people at that show were not keen on me videoing their tables, which is fine. But it just kind of sucked my energy out from recording the rest of the show. So I just shut the camera off and just walked around. HGA basically said they were grading all non-sports cards at their new site in estimated 2 months. What is your strategy for selling? Buy multiples and then sell them off. Guys like you that follow data-driven analytics will be much more valuable to people with hype guys, but dependent on bull market, while guys like you that can navigate the bears are rare. Thank you, Kellen. We'll see if I can navigate when things go sideways once things go sideways. Two quarter cards. If you're sending to BGS banking on a 10, you're doing it wrong. You're not going to get a BGS 10. What's the biggest... Oops. What's the biggest loss you've ever taken in the hobby? That Ben Simmons optic one, for which this is not that big of a loss. I honestly haven't taken that many. The Ben Simmons optic, I'm down about $150 on. The Morant purple, I paid $550 for. They're going for like $350 right now. I bought at peak of the market. What else? Trying to think what else. I'm upside down on some Odell Beckham Jr. stuff that I bought and didn't sell fast enough, and then the market slipped away from me. I do not talk about or follow the NHL market very much. Can you cash out completely on all Star Stock cards accepted? I don't know what you mean. Have you been to the Xenia, Ohio show yet? It's very good and video friendly. Xenia is a hike for me. I've heard good things about that show. I'm just curious. Sorry for the slight delay. I think Xenia is like 3 hours for me. I'm just checking. Yeah, 3 hours and 8 minutes to Xenia. Yikes. I have heard good. When is there like a Facebook page for that show or anything? Like, what's the best way to track when that show's happening? I hear Card Collector 2 talk about it a lot. I should make the drive down sometime, but that's just a long way to go. Reyes, if you keep double posting everything, I'm going to put you in timeout again. Big Ben's fine. His stuff's probably a little undervalued. Oh, yeah, that's a good call, Doug. I did take a brutal loss on the Deshaun Watson. I took a loss at about a day on that. I bought Deshaun Watson PSA 10 for like $1,300, and it went to like $900 overnight on the news. I bought it at literally the worst possible time. But I immediately, that's a situation where it was, I learned from past mistakes on that Watson thing. Thank you for reminding me of this. I could have easily said, well, nope, I got to wait for it to get back to 1,300 and break even. And I said, no, I'm just biting the bullet, taking the instant $400 hit or $300 hit, whatever it was. And I just immediately accepted an offer that was open at $900 to sell at, because I was just read the writing on the wall and I wanted to get out of it. Sometimes you're better off taking an instant loss than you are trying to play weighted out, because that card immediately dropped even more. And now I would have all that money tied up. And instead I took the $400 loss, but I got $900 back out. And I actually used that $900 to buy Acuna first Bowman's basically, and some other stuff and Donovan Mitchell. And I've already flipped that stuff for profit. So if that's the case, second quarter, you should just be sending it to PSA. It has to be on the back. Like the roller marks and stuff have to be on the back. If it's print lines on the front, you're toast. Will the hobby ever accept another slab? What's up, Dominic? I've been going for a while, so. If I open the G.I. Joe box, I will absolutely rip it live. 100%. There's a difference between print lines and roller marks. Print lines are on the front of the card. Like I have I don't know where it's at. I have a John Morant green floating around here somewhere with a print line on it. Roller marks are different. They're on the back of the card. Almost every card has roller marks. That sounds about right, big boy. I have not heard anything on PSA pricing yet. I think anyone putting a number out there is guessing. I mean, regarding the Giannis thing, I don't know yet. The Grizzlies are way too young. We don't know. Like the Grizzlies are going to have a ton of cap space to add like a massive player if they can get one to come there because they're all young and cheap. Are Klay Thompson prices too high? I haven't checked in a while, but last I did, I thought they were too high. Just wait then, second quarter. UFC is just very niche. I could see the John Collins thing. Like I could understand the argument for it. I don't know that I would do it, but like I get it. I've never done radio previously. I've been in I worked retail for a long time, retail sales, and I've been in customer service / account management for the last 15 years. So I am very used to talking to people / engaging with an audience, etc., etc. Connecting / building relationships. Yeah, 20 boxes at 125 each seems like a stretch. I think I bought mine for like $20. How's Ohtani pitching? I knew that he was pitching, but I haven't had a chance to look at the box score since I've been doing this. Have you looked in the PWCC or Probstein to sell cards? I personally haven't because I haven't had anything that big. I hope Ohtani can stay healthy for me and my pink refractor. I still think you should be cashing out on Ohtani if you have his stuff. I just think the injury concerns with him are astronomical. I really do. 4 earned, that sucks. Ohtani's just so wild. All right, I've officially caught up with chat. It only took me 90 minutes. We will probably wrap up here. Tomorrow morning's video is an interesting one. I think you guys and girls will like it. So I think most rookie cards are overvalued. Just depends on the rookie. Tomorrow morning's videos should be an interesting one. I will be very curious for people's comments on that one. It's a thing a lot of people don't talk about very often. Would you HGA an Ohtani rookie? No, I PSA. Wait, just wait. Be patient. Wednesday's video is recorded. It is going to be about the current retail situation and the mess that it is. And I don't know what's coming Thursday or Friday yet. But those 2 videos are done. If you would like to support the channel, please use the affiliate links down below, specifically the new eBay one. I'd like to try that out, see what kind of traction I get off that. I know all you degenerates buy stuff off eBay every waking moment. So if you are going to buy something off eBay, do me a favor and just use the link in the description. Just takes you to the regular old eBay site like you'd always go to. And if you want to check out Market Movers, the link to that's down below. I know a lot of people have signed up with Market Movers through my link. I really don't push it. I let the product speak for itself versus trying to sell you on the product. But yeah, other than that, smash like buttons, share videos with friends. I'm still on the quest for 10K subs. I will not get there by the 1 year mark. I do not think, unless something absolutely crazy happens. That was the goal I set for myself earlier this year, but I will hit 9K probably by 1 year. It'll be close. So 1 year mark, I forget the exact date, but it is coming up quickly. Very quickly. I don't know what I'll do yet for that. All right, boys and girls, smash the like button on the way out the door. We will catch you tomorrow morning for, like I said again, a very interesting video, I think. We'll see. I don't want to hype it up too much because it'll probably dud. But that's all I got. Everyone have a nice night. Peace. Curry blew a 3-1 lead.